I appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. We are at 82 subscribers.
Mm.
Maybe with my voice, I can gain some subscribers.
Oh,
All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. On
Bubba
the road.
ASMR.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. Okay, I did not want to bring that up.
It's the boy, Bubba, let's coming through. Ella, clutch, flawless, can't be touched. It's your boy, Bubba, let's. Yeah, I need that hot take. I need the truth and everything that is not fake. So tell me who's the
Welcome back, Bubba Bunch, to another episode of the Bubba Let's Sports Podcast. This is episode 153. I said that in the last podcast. Wasn't
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
I'm bad. But this time, we already came out with an episode earlier this week with my journalism teacher, Alex Navarro, talking about NBA and the bubble, the playoffs. Awesome. Go check that out. Very short, too, which is probably what we're going to do here. Right?
Try.
But we
Try's
had
the
to make
keyword.
this episode. This is the second attempt this week with Kevin on board.
Yes.
It wasn't the best attempt for the first time.
No, it really wasn't.
But this time we'll guarantee an episode, so that's why it's a little late in the week. But tonight, actually, since it's a late night, some big news. You could say this is the Cowboys roundup. You can call it whatever you want. I guarantee, not gonna be biased, but we're excited as Cowboys fans because as of yesterday, it was reported and it is confirmed that Minnesota Vikings edge rusher, defensive end Everson Griffen has now signed with the Dallas Cowboys for 1 year.
Oof.
$6 million.
Mm-hmm.
Half of that is going to be signing bonus. The other 3 is incentives.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what just a blindside acquisition. Not just for the Cowboys, just for anyone, because you actually mentioned it before we started, is that we kind of forgot about Everson Griffen. He's kind of been on the down low, and there's always been those little talks of him going to Seattle because they're looking to kind of have that pass rusher, not Jadeveon Clowney. Who knows what's going to happen there? And they want something cheap because they've spent a lot of money. They've spent a lot of time in their draft picks and salary cap on Jamal Adams and a lot of other players. But that for me made sense. I thought Everson Griffen was one of the best pass rushers last season. Statistically, eye test wise, he's a phenomenal defensive lineman.
Yeah.
And it makes sense for him to go to Seattle because they want a big name, just a ferocious type of player like that. It would fit Seattle. And then just out of nowhere, a defensive line and a defense in general for the Dallas Cowboys that looks to be set. I would have been okay, not just okay, ecstatic with that defense without Everson Griffen. Now you add him. Not only depth, but you're having a Pro Bowler.
Oh, yeah.
Or another Pro Bowler to that front seven. And I can't tell you enough how impressed I am by the Cowboys for not only doing this type of move, but also doing it in a very smart way with that deal.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because like I was saying earlier, so you go from this whole Dak situation. It's really unfortunate. And then you move on, and then we go to this Jamal deal that, apparently it was gaining a bunch of traction. He even came out in a video saying, hey, man, I'm trying to come to Dallas. It's not up to me. We get past Jamal. Now that we know what Seattle gave up for him, I'm kind of glad we did. I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere, literally sucker punch last night, I was literally just watching, a stream, and my phone blows up with 4 different notifications from Cowboys Twitter stuff. And it's Everson Griffen. I'm like, I just forgot about this dude. But thank God that Jerry Jones didn't, because man, this is a perfect move. I'm very excited. I like you said, we're gonna try and stay objective in general, but I can't help it, man. It's such a good move. What, 1 year, $6 million? That's kind of been the basis around these 3 big D-line contracts that we've given. 1 year, $6 million for Everson. I think it was 2 years, $10 million for Dontari, if I remember correctly, and then $3 million, 20 years for Gerald McCoy, if I remember correctly. Those numbers might be off. Don't quote me, but I think that I think that the argument could be made that this is the first offseason in a long time for the Cowboys where it's just a straight win, 100% across the board. I mean, we could have signed some bigger names, but at the end, the bigger names, do they really matter if these names are going to get us results? So,
look, at the end of the day, you can't have a perfect roster.
Yeah.
What you can do is play it smart. Try to be as smart as possible, but also give your team the best chance to win. Mm-hmm. And I am not being biased here. I am not being objective with the sheer fact that I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm saying, as a football fan, and it's been following the Cowboys for my entire life, I can't tell you a bigger offseason that they've had other than right now.
Oh, of course,
with everything
100%.
That's going on. And It's not just players. It is a whole coaching staff. It is a whole new agenda. It is a whole new idea built into this team now. Mm-hmm. And watching that kind of state of address that Mike McCarthy had at the Star with the veterans, they're sitting 6 feet apart, everyone's wearing masks, and he's like, "Look, this ain't normal. Like, this is awkward, to say the least.
Yeah,
with the current situation, but we win. We're gonna win, no matter if it's on the field, off the field. We're going to win. That's our mentality." And I'm hearing reports over the last couple of days that they're going to build their own type of bubble. They're going to stay at the Omni Hotel. They're going to do some off-field activities, but they're going to do it safely. They're going to do it smart. And they're trying their best, just in this small little time, to build a different kind of atmosphere in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't just start with the signings. It doesn't start with the acquisitions. It starts with what's already there, and then building off of that. And I can't tell you how impressed I am by watching this, go down. It's such a very unique and different way than I've accustomed to. I'm used to just seeing a draft. I'm like saying, okay, they got some good draft picks. Maybe getting one or two players in the offseason and saying, all right, see where we go from there. And then let's hope for the best. I'm saying this year, this is no excuses. Like that is the motto. It's no excuses anymore. Because
I've been saying it.
And you're right. Like as we get closer and closer to the season, and I'm feeling better and better about their chances. Now there's always that head or that voice in the back of my head that just says, like, look, you're a Cowboys fan. Like, just be prepared,
Yeah.
And it's the stigma, like you said. But
Stephen A. isn't wrong.
I just keep imagining that video of him, like, doing a tier list, and there's a Cowboys fan ranks them, and he's like, "Get him out of here. We don't want you here." Like, that's me. I'm that Cowboys fan. It's like, I'm always going to be there. Yeah. But I said it on Twitter, man. Like, it's a love-hate relationship. It's unhealthy how much I love this team and want to be a part of this team.
Yeah.
And watch them grow. But, man, you can't help but be excited. I think any team that can acquire Pro Bowlers at almost every position on that defensive line and get Pro Bowlers, future Pro Bowlers on the offensive side as well. Every little move that I'm seeing, other than Dak, because we talked about it enough, it just feels like it's going in the right direction. And I feel like there's more influence on Mike McCarthy than ever before.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I think these moves, like this offseason, pays a lot of testament to just look at the way it's worked these past couple months. You bring in a new head coach, you bring in a new coaching staff. It's very obvious that the mentality is different than the last coaching staff and Jason Garrett. The second you bring in this new coaching staff, Mike McCarthy and Jason Garrett are two very different head coaches. For obvious reasons, we're not going to get into that because, like you said, we want to keep this podcast short.
Put it simply, one can actually coach.
Exactly. So now, the second you bring this new coaching staff and a winning head coach like Mike McCarthy, look what happens. You have an amazing offseason with a bunch of Pro Bowlers, with a bunch of good players, a lot of veterans too. So a lot of these veterans can, they're going to lead the team and they're going to create their own voice right away in the locker room. And then you go out and you have, it's not like a top tier draft, but I would say that this draft was very good for the Cowboys. One of the best Cowboy drafts in a long time, if you ask me personally, because last year's draft was just abysmal in my opinion. A couple of years ago, it was decent, whatever. This draft was way better in my opinion. So this offseason has just been a lot of wins. I'm hoping that a lot of these wins can translate to actual wins in the season. But I mean, it's really hard to not like see what's going on and be like, yeah, these Cowboys, they can go a long way. I've been saying it ever since, like we had the draft, and I've been saying it ever since, we started signing these players in general in the offseason, starting with like Don Terry Poe and Gerald McCoy. There is no excuse. And I think now my point has just become even more and more valid that there is literally no excuse for the Cowboys to at least make the divisional round. Like the divisional round is like the least, but but there's no excuse for like an NFC championship or at least a Super Bowl appearance. There's no excuse. Tell me where you see a flaw. If you want to say our cornerbacks and our secondary, okay, fine. I understand. It could be a little shaky. We have to see what Trevon Diggs does. We have to see how Chidobe Awuzie can bounce back. We have to see how our safeties will pull, and that's fine. I understand. But besides that, our offense, stacked, solid. Our front seven, if it holds out the way I've been seeing it on Twitter and the way how our day one should look like, our front seven is D-Law, Don Terry Poe, Gerald McCoy,
love it,
Everson Griffen.
I'm salivating.
And then we got the big boys, Jalen, Leighton, and Sean. I mean, I love you, Sean, with all my heart. Just please stay healthy, please, my God. But how could you not look at that team and be like, this team, it can go places? It can go places.
There's a Pro Bowler at every position.
Yeah.
Multiple Pro Bowls at that.
Yeah.
Which brings so much experience. Guys that have been there at the big stage.
Leadership, experience.
Leadership.
I mean, come on.
Also, what I love, and I feel like I hate saying the Cowboys fan base, we need some like excitement. We need it from the players because there is a lot of pressure on them. There is a constant kind of chip on your shoulder because you are the Dallas Cowboys. You're going to get scrutinized and picked at for every little thing. Do not get me wrong. These guys are not going to have all pro seasons. Because it doesn't happen that way. They're going to play to the best of their ability. But when they have a bad game, which undoubtedly will happen because even the best have bad games.
I mean, it's just a fact of life.
It is. Fine. And these guys have been through that before. But Everson Griffen's going to have a bad game. They're going to criticize that to the very, very end of it. And
even more because there's a star in his helmet. It's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is. But what I love is seeing Gerald McCoy, Don Terry Poe, and just right now, before we even started this podcast, Everson Griffen coming out and saying, look, I'm ready to win a championship.
Yeah.
Us as a team, I'm ready to get the job done.
Yeah.
I'm here to win championships. And I love that because how many seasons have we gone through because of players, just kind of staying quiet, not being really excited, not bringing like that excitement that we should be having as a Cowboys fan base is now being shown by every single one of those new guys. Every single one of those new guys is happy to be there, ready for an opportunity to bring a championship back to Dallas.
And it's not even just the you guys. I don't know if you saw as well, but did you see that statement that Amari Cooper made? When they asked Amari Cooper about how he felt about having CeeDee Lamb in the receiving corps, he instantly said, well, to be honest, I expect us to have 3 1,000-yard receivers this season. I mean,
I'm a hold off on that.
I mean, that's a really, really big statement. That's a super big statement. Don't get me wrong. But at least I love the confidence, man. I love that Amari Cooper is accepting, CeeDee so soon because, rookie wide receivers they're a really, really big gamble all the time. But I love that, he's already giving CeeDee confidence. I love that he already has confidence in him. And like you said, I just love that, this season, a lot of players on the Cowboys are finally they're getting excited. And if they don't want to say it, fine, we'll say it for them. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're excited because they don't have Jason Garrett as their coach anymore. I mean, they know something's going to be different this year, and I love it. I mean, it's great. Thank God. I'm just hoping that all of these moves will hopefully translate into W's. So, um, it's good. It's a good time. But overall, in general, like besides the bias, how smart are all these deals? They're so good.
So
It's made logical and financial sense, like for the Cowboys.
because it's so easy to look at the good that the Cowboys are doing, but there's always that elephant in the room that just kind of like pimple on it to where your franchise quarterback is not signed.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that Dak came out literally a day or two ago. Yeah. He's like, I want to be a Cowboy for life. I'm like, this guy deserves the world. Yet he is getting bombarded with hate. He just lost his brother like a few months ago. It was like during the draft. Yeah. And every day he faces criticism. And I'm not trying to baby him at all. This guy needs to work on some stuff. But I'm not going to call out people. But when they're telling me he's an average quarterback, like I would, if I was a player on Dak Prescott's team, I would die for him. Just from what I've seen. So imagine what it's like to be in that locker room, knowing him personally, and seeing that Falcons game where he gets obliterated by Adrian Claiborne. And then you take in consideration like all the hate that he took for the sophomore slump. To go through all of that and to have such an amazing year last year where he improved at every aspect of his game, and to only get a Nate because of a terrible defense that never showed up, terrible coaching staff that was never a coaching staff to begin with, and he had to do it all himself. It's hard to see, man. So I'm happy that he's not kind of, what's the right word for it? Poisoned.
Bitter. Oh, okay.
Like bitter. That as well, just by the fact that he's not signed yet. And Stephen Jones is coming out saying we are confident that he will sign by next fall, by next season, which is nice. But you could have done this a lot smarter, like you've done with every other deal up to this point. Like not even just the defensive line. Think about HaHa Clinton-Dix. Like that was a great signing for the Dallas Cowboys. And then to do the draft in the way that you did, Aldon Smith as well. I forgot about him when we were talking about Everson Griffen, and we were talking about it last night when he signed. But I was like, Aldon Smith's gonna be the backup edge rusher.
Yeah.
You know how scary that is?
I think I was telling you this before, like we started this podcast, that the front seven looks really good, but even besides the starters, like we have such good depth on that line. I mean, we got Tyrone Crawford, we got Aldon Smith, we got Antoine Woods,
who finally signed.
Finally signed. Yeah, I mean, just those three names that they've been starters for us the past couple of years, and they've done great in my opinion. I think they've held it down. They've obviously could have done better, but it is what it is. But them individually, they're solid players. And that just like attributes to the fact even more that, we have such a good front seven. I think now it just comes to a point with all this, like, like to wrap up on your Dak situation, like, you know what, dude, like it is what it is. Next year, I mean, the Cowboys have no choice to give him the $40 million. It is what it is. But I think now it just comes down to this new, I guess, culture, this new identity that's trying to happen with the Cowboys that Mike McCarthy's bringing in. It's doing a lot of good right now. And like I said earlier, I just don't see anything less than a divisional round. I really don't. And, I feel like if there's anything less than a divisional round this season, it's a complete failure. I've said multiple times, like Super Bowl appearance, and that I can be full honest with you, and like that's partially me being a Cowboys fan, but realistically and objectively, anything less than a division round's a failure. I mean, to have this much talent And, you're already building off a very talented roster as it is these past couple of years, and then to add all this extra talent and you still can't make it to at least the championship. I don't know what to say. I mean, the Browns have been cursed by being a horrific team the last 25 years of their existence. But I think we could somewhat fall into the same thing that we're cursed. What the hell? All this talent, you can't do anything? Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this season is going to be a huge, huge season. I think you've said it before in previous podcasts that this is kind of like a test season because of this new coaching staff. But this test season looks a lot like a real damn season, brother. I don't know about you.
Yeah, with the amount of 1-year deals that are
happening
on defense, like they're heavy on defense, which is nice to see. They recognize the problem that was last year, and the sheer fact that most of those games were lost because of going down so early, giving up that many points early, and that defense just could never bounce back. Now you add not only outside help to get to the quarterback, but inside help by re-signing Antoine Woods. Tyron Crawford hopefully comes back healthier than ever with the amount of injuries that he's had, but also the help with veteranship of Dontari Poe, Gerald McCoy. It's just a very nice thing to see. It opens up the ability to flourish Jalen Smith and Lane Van Der Esch, who's coming back from the neck injury, feeling better than ever, according to him, which is nice to see. To move them around, because you can't waste a talent like that. I don't want to see Sean Lee 2.0 legitly go down. He's a prototype Sean Lee guy. I just don't want the injuries to be a part of that as well. But to free them up, to either put them on the inside, put them on the outside, whatever the case may be. They're great coverage guys because they have the speed and the agility, which is nice. The only concern I have is that secondary. And the way to contradict that is by getting to the quarterback. You don't have to worry about giving up wide open receivers if he has no time to fucking throw. And that's basically what they're doing. I'm not saying the secondary is just a liability at this point. I'm really hoping, because I've seen them succeed in a really bad system, and otherwise
with players way less than right now.
But I'm saying like Chidobe Awuzie, Anthony Brown, like they have had their moments to where you're like, like they're actually doing pretty well. So to do that with Chris Richard and Rod Marinelli, who had no disguise, no unpredictability on defense. Now you're going to start to see that because these guys are saying we're going to have a lot more disguises on defense.
Mike Nolan, yes, sir.
I am so excited to see what he can do. And especially Jim Tomsula with that defense. Jesus Christ.
Oh man. But I love it.
I'm excited to see what Harris and Lindquist do on the secondary and kind of get some confidence up in Chidobe, get some confidence up in Anthony Brown, and see what they can do with Trevon Diggs, who I am really intrigued by to see what he can do early on in his career, but also see what happens with Reggie Robinson. Does he get snaps?
100%.
Who's your safety? Are you going to put Chidobe, or are we going back to Xavier or Kayvon Frazier?
Basically, who's going to be next to Ha Clinton-Dix?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No.
And I mean, like, Ha Clinton-Dix has a lot to prove too, because he's been consistent, but I think his best.
But there's a reason why he's been switching teams the past couple of years. So
but even though he's been really good on every single team he's been. I mean, there's only been 2, but I mean, he's been really productive, and from what I've seen, Jordan Lewis is going to play the slot corner, which I like.
We'll see. I mean, I've never really been like, me and you both have always kind of said that we want to see more out of Jordan Lewis because of the fact that, we had Byron Jones and Chidobe as the main corners. We always said that, Jordan Lewis was kind of like that, like backup where he was already good. He just needed more shine. So it should be good. And then, back to the point that you were saying that, this secondary isn't really a liability, but, it's really nice to understand that, you can't really like be that worried about your secondary when you got a D line and rushers coming at you like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also to piggyback off of that, I think it's very clear that all these moves are so great because what has been the one thing the Cowboys have been lacking defensively the past 4 or 5 years? Turnovers. My God, we have always been bottom of the league in turnovers, and it's frustrating. I mean, now we got people that can rush the ball, that can hopefully, a sack fumble, a sack strip. And then if anything, maybe those pressures can become interceptions to those guys in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally all working out to be a system that can hopefully be better for our defense. And I'm really hoping that this does create a lot more turnovers because I think it could be said that a lot of games these past couple of years could have been won if we had more pressure, if we had more turnovers. Because, like I said, the past couple of years, the Cowboys have been bottom of the league in turnovers, literally nothing at all. So it's great to see, and I'm hoping that it does work out that way.
Yeah, and to further that point, you consider the fact that offense does not turn the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
How often do you see Ezekiel Elliott fumble?
How often do you see Dak throw interceptions?
Yeah, especially last year. He did a very good job of limiting those turnovers, especially when you have receivers that can actually catch. And even then, the Cowboys were one of the worst teams in the NFL at drop balls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is shocking because of the amount of talent that they have, and I think it'll improve significantly this year.
I was very surprised that Randall Cobb dropped as many balls as he did last year. Oh, he was always a very reliable target. But, I mean...
That was a project that I thought was just going to be a nice puzzle piece to the puzzle, and it wasn't going to be talked about a lot, but it did more harm than good in Randall Cobb, which was sad to see because I did want to see Mike McCarthy reunited with Randall Cobb. But they were very quick to pull the trigger on him leaving because he probably wanted more money than was offered to him. Maybe they had the plan all along to get a wide receiver, whether it was Dez, whether it was CD, get someone in the draft, someone in free agency because it was stacked no matter what.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, the discipline on this team was the main problem. Yeah, whether it was defense or offense, drop balls, turnovers, or lack of turnovers. Mike McCarthy is coming from a stint with one of the most pressurized organizations in the NFL. Think about Green Bay, that the fans own the team, basically.
Yeah, they really do.
They have so much influence on who stays, who goes. And to have that amount of time to win a Super Bowl, but also have faced that criticism, it kind of prepared them very well for Dallas because you're going to face that same type of criticism from the fans. And by people that love this team, you're still going to get heavily criticized because if you don't go 16-0, there's obviously something wrong, which is a sad thing to see.
It's ridiculous, but the point is made, basically.
The point is made. So it prepares them very well for that. I cannot tell you enough how much I love that documentary they did on him when they first acquired Mike McCarthy, and him showing the kind of like the man cave of NFL film, and him talking about like he needs this win. We go back to win. That's what the Cowboys need. It's not just Mike McCarthy. It's not the Dak. It's not just DeMarcus Lawrence. Whatever the case may be, this organization needs to win in order to get rid of that stigma. And I'm saying win after win after win this offseason is going to lead to win after win after win during the season.
Yeah.
And it's going to get them far.
I think for sure, like the whole discipline thing and just like the whole restructuring of this team, I'll never forget the Jets game this past season when that clip when Jason Garrett was walking out and just nobody was giving him that stupid high five that he would always give. And I think that was a huge testament showing that the players just gave up on him. They were tired of just his antics. They were tired of just seeing the same thing every single year, of just the same head coach that just doesn't do anything, that he just sticks to the same script, doesn't want to change, doesn't want to, adapt. He doesn't want to edit anything. And that game it showed it all for me that's it. Like these guys, they quit on him. They quit on him a long time ago, probably, but they were probably just being political and they didn't want to, make any noise. But that game for sure showed me that it's over. Now with Mike McCarthy in, just seeing those like short videos, like what you're saying right now, when he was talking to like that veteran like leadership meeting he had with the vets, like it just instantly feels different. Instantly, 100%. The way he was speaking to them, the discipline, like the what's the word, like the command in his voice, like it just feels like a non-Jason Garrett team, as I guess as basic as you want to call it, but it just feels better. It looks better. I mean, it's obviously coming together better with this offseason, with this draft. Literally, once again, we could say that the sky is the limit for this team, but we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm not gonna discount the amount of great teams that are out there in the NFC and around football.
Oh, of course.
I'm not ready to say whatsoever that the Cowboys can beat the Chiefs and the Ravens in the Super Bowl, or that they have a chance in beating the Ravens in that regular season game late in the season. I still think the Ravens will buckshot the Cowboys into like a reality check late in that season, which might be the best thing for them. But
I agree with you 100%.
I swear, no matter what happens, I mean, I don't even expect, even with every single starter getting injured, that the mentality is always going to be about winning, no matter what. It's kind of like what Miami's doing. Like, even if the cards are all against us, we're going to go out there and try our best, which is a new just reality for the Cowboys that they needed. So 8-8 should be out the fucking window.
Dude,
never should it be 8-8 ever again.
Anything less than 10 wins should be out the window with this team right now. So
I will go as far as saying 11-5. That is as far as I'm saying. I think 12-4, 13-3 is way overboard and way too hyped to say. I'm being more realistic than ever. I'm not just gonna be optimistic as possible. It's good to be optimistic and glass half full, but I going glass full in this.
There needs to be some reality, and I agree with you. I think 11-5 is a good start right away. Yeah. And so I guess to wrap this up, because like we said, we were going to try to keep it short.
No, we're doing good on time.
Yeah, me personally, I think the first test in this season for us is going to be the third game at Seattle.
Right. Which they're typically really good at.
Yeah. Now, we've been good in Seattle the past couple of years, but it's still Seattle. And Seattle has 12 players on the team every single time. We all know this. And for a new squad, a bunch of fresh faces, a lot of the players have already played against Seattle with former teams. But still, this is a new team. I think that's going to be the real first test. How can our defense do against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks? That's the first test, in my opinion, because like we said in our prediction video, the Rams game, whatever.
Should be a win.
Should be a very easy win. We did say the Falcons was probably going to be a loss just because of, the Falcons are looking to jump back this season, just like the Cowboys are. But we could still probably win that game if all gears are functioning. We should win that game. But depends what happens. But that Seahawks game, that's going to be our first true test. And I think after that game, that's when we can sit down and say, all right, whatever happens this game, this is the results. This is what happened when we played a formidable team with, like we said multiple times, hashtag Russell Wilson should have been MVP 3 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe even last year, just saying, but whatever.
That dude's had like 3 votes ever since he entered league an MVP.
It's ridiculous. Stupid. It's a conversation for another time. Stupid. But if we beat Russell Wilson with this new team, with his new defense, that's when I will 100% be confident in my prediction, even though there is no excuse, but still.
That's an easy matchup in the divisional round of the playoffs. That's an easy. A momentum type of Seahawks team that wins the wild card and goes up against Dallas in the divisional round, most likely playing in Dallas, or it could be easily played in Seattle if Seattle has a really good game and you win in a hostile environment, or you keep it close in a hostile environment. even a close loss against Seattle would be a win for me because it prepares them very well for the playoffs.
Basically, this season is going to be a lot like last season, where the first couple games we got it easy or beating easy teams, but then the real test shows up. And that's when our true colors will show. Will it be bad like last year? Hopefully not. Will it be good? We'll see.
The tough stretch of games last year was in the middle of the season. This one's going to be at the end.
Yeah. But I think that Seattle game is a good test to see what we could possibly do in the end of the season.
Oh, yeah, very early on. That is a very good game for the Cowboys just to determine where they're at.
Yeah.
And then later on when you're going against the Niners and the Ravens, it's like, good luck.
Yeah.
We don't expect you to win, but just go out there and try your best, see what you can do.
Yeah. So and also especially it's going to be very interesting to see how our defense will handle Lamar, because we've never ever in the past couple of years have played a quarterback like Lamar. Yeah. So
no, I'm okay with giving up numbers to Lamar Jackson. To me, that's just a cheat code. Like that's playing Madden on rookie mode.
I think that game is going to heavily rely on Leighton and Jalen's shoulders, because those are the two speedy guys that can keep up. But even then, Lamar is just a freak. So
I think Jalen's the only guy that can really determine if they can stop Lamar. But I'm chalking that up as a L no matter what. They can sign Dak. They can sign fucking Jesus Christ to that roster, and there ain't saving that defense. No defense is safe.
Because I don't think it was last season. I think it was 2 seasons ago when we shut down Deshaun. Surprisingly, we shut him down, and Jalen had that nasty hit on him like from across the field. I don't know if you remember that play, but it was very surprising. I was like, wow, Jalen Smith is keeping up with Deshaun like in spy plays, in coverage plays. I was shocked. I was like, wow, Jalen Smith, thank God you're a Cowboy, my lord. Mm-hmm. But Lamar is a little different than Deshaun. I think we can both agree on that one.
Oh, yeah. As far as like spying goes, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. So.
But I look. Here's the last point I'll make, is that it's the Cowboys, and I am preparing myself mentally to be disappointed at the very end.
I want you to pull up that clip of me when I said that being a Cowboys fan is just numb.
It's just pain.
Just insert it right here, and that's my response to your point. Yeah.
Because, like, what is it? What's the phrase? Expecting the worst, hope for the best. Yeah. That's exactly how it is.
That's all you can do as a Cowboys fan.
Really, you can use that in life and in general.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the Cowboys, like, that is every season, and I always expect the worst. Mm-hmm. No, I always hope for the best, but I never expect the worst, because the worst has what's been happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be 0-16, but that's. I mean, you got to rethink your life if you're thinking like that.
Yeah.
And you don't know football, but like 8-8 is basically 0-16 for the Cowboys. It's basically pointless. Yeah. You shouldn't have played the season, no matter what.
Yeah.
And so with all these moves, all the right direction, it's so easy to be like, look, this is it. This is the season. Like they are all in. There's no doubt in my mind they are all in and going as far as possible in the playoffs and hoping for a championship. That is their mindset, which is what you should have been doing the entire time. That should have been the mindset every season.
These past 10 years.
Facts. And you have not capitalized on it. You have not executed that in the right way. And so this is the season. I've said in the last couple of seasons, I'm like, this is a really good chance. This is a really good chance to prove something to the NFL. Yeah. This season, there's no chance.
This is it.
Your chance. This is
Mm-hmm.
it. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. There's no excuse at the end of the season where you're like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, maybe next year then. It's like, no, like, every team should go in there and say, we should win the Super Bowl. And it's not just because we're Cowboys fans. It's not just because all these great things are happening. No, it should be every fan's expectation, unless you're a really bad football team, to be like, they should win the Super Bowl. They should have a really good chance of winning the Super Bowl. And I feel like now the Cowboys are in that conversation. It's not just the stigma. It's not just the stereotypical Cowboys fan. Like, this is legit. This is the right thing to say. Some people are more blamed than others. Like, we'll be more realistic about it. Yet, just in the back of my mind, I'm going to be like, look, at the end of the season, no matter what happens, this is the right direction. This is where the Cowboys should be doing the entire time. I'm happy to lose with Mike McCarthy. I'm happy to lose with Dak Prescott. I'm happy to lose with that defense. As long as you perform at the end and you just come up short, that is fine. That's what happened in 2016 with the Green Bay Packers game. That entire season was, to me, impressive to watch, and it was fun to watch and be a part of. The other season, 2014 as well. Like, it came down to stuff that's not in your hands, and that's okay. That it happens. It's football. You can say the Saints for the last 2 years. It's just out of your hands. It should have been better, but
happened 2018.
It happened a lot.
Yeah,
and you just can't give me an excuse if you go out 8-8. If you go out not winning the division, you go out playing horrible defense and give up 200 yards to C.J. Anderson. Those are the types of things that I will be disappointed about if they don't end up winning the Super Bowl. But if you go in, whether it's NFC Championship against the Bucks, against the Saints, whatever the case may be, or in the Super Bowl where you lose to the Chiefs, you lose to the Ravens or the Patriots, I'm chilling. I'm fine. It'll hurt for a day.
It will.
But when you look back at it and you look back at where we are in the season, and right now, when we're just debating about it, just think of like, wow, we expected a lot of this team, and they actually
did it.
They actually proved it. Like, they actually proved that they're a good football team that can make it far. How am I going to be mad about that? I'm not going to be like, oh, well, we'll get him out of here. Mike McCarthy should be fired. All that stuff. For them improving, it's not easy to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's not easy to go far.
If the scenario was like the Cowboys do it every single year, and this is like, we got a new head coach to see what happens, then it'd be different if we were to go and lose a Super Bowl. Like, that's when it'd be like, all right, like we switched things and we still failed. What's going on? This is a failed season. But this, I agree with you. This is completely different. Like, now, if the Cowboys make it that far, I mean, how could you be mad? This is a massive and a drastic improvement if it were to happen.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to save my people. All the Cowboys fans out there that listen to my podcast and are wanting me to just praise this team and to just marry them into winning a Super Bowl. That's just not going to happen. That's just not me anymore. I'm mature now. I get it. It's football.
You got to be a little more realistic than that, buddy.
Be a little more realistic. I'm still like very excited to see what happens. Like, I was ecstatic when they signed Everson Griffen. I was really excited when they signed all of these guys. I thought they were great moves.
Yeah.
But that comes with the realization of, like, it's still early. It's still way too soon to tell. It doesn't matter once you get on that football field what the expectations are. It's what you do in the moment. So that's where I'm at, and I'm excited to see what Everson Griffen does.
I think that's where everybody should be at right now.
I just want to see these guys ball out and see what they can do.
Same, man. Same.
Like, if they all come together, if Hot Boys is really back, dear God.
This could be the resurrection of Hot Boys.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out, because I can't imagine. The possibilities are endless of what this defense can do. Along with that offense, Jesus Christ! If there is that chance of 3,000 or 1,000-yard receivers, and I can't tell you where this team can go. I can say that for every team, though. Like you can look at the Ravens or the Chiefs. You see Patrick Mahomes. Like, Patrick Mahomes could throw for 6,000 yards, and you would be like, I believe it. Like, that could actually happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll just wait and see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I think it's a great move. Like, the only one I could think of from last season that, like, a lot of people had a lot of hype behind was, like, Michael Bennett.
Oh,
when he came in, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, something about his time at New England just didn't do it for me, and I wasn't really excited for that move, because it was supposed to be like, oh, they can finally get to the quarterback. I'm like, I don't know about that. And that was a failure. That to me was a failure.
Yeah.
Like, Michael Bennett in Dallas should not be talked about. But this is something to look at.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. You know, I like we were talking about earlier. Like this move is just adding to a bunch of the veteran leadership that's going to bring to this team. It's going to add to, you know, hopefully more turnovers. It's going to add to more pressure. It's basically just adding a bunch of facets to what should have been happening a long time ago. And
it's the foundations of a good defense. How about
yes,
that?
Yes. Oh. I wonder where that's been the last. Well, actually, no. That 2018, 2017 defense was pretty good.
Yeah, when Hot Boys first arrived.
Yeah, when Hot Boys first started. But in general, yes, this looks like the foundations of a good defense. And
look, man, Everson Griffen purified himself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka in Minnesota. Came to Dallas, and he's bringing good vibes. Gerald McCoy, Don Terry Pogue bring good vibes.
I love Gerald McCoy. I love him, man.
Gerald McCoy
great.
is. I would want to have a beer with him.
I would too as well.
I would just love it. Clint Dix fighting off Bears. You love to see it. And just CeeDee Lamb just seems to do a weird workout every single day and post it on Instagram, which I don't have a problem with.
I saw. Yeah.
He's just going to be ridiculous. And he looks.
But he's a freak. It's all right.
He's a freak. He does look good in a Cowboys uniform, though.
Freaks do what freaks do. Hey, that 88 looking nice on him, though. I'm not gonna lie.
We never really talked about that. I don't know about that.
That 88 looks nice on him. I hope he can prove it, but it looks nice on him.
It'll be the first time that a Cowboy wearing 88 isn't the primary receiver. Really think about that.
And also like a high-valued rookie. Because remember, Dez wasn't a high-valued rookie.
There was a lot of controversy with Dez coming out of Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Like he had those allegations, and it was like, do we give him 88? Like,
yeah.
Like he'll be good, but I don't know if he'll be 88. And yes, he passed. He really set the legacy. He continued the legacy, I should say.
Yeah. CD, man, it's your show. It's your show.
Man, I'm thinking about the next jersey that I'll buy. And I'm preparing myself. Like, what if Dak leaves? Like, my only Cowboys jersey is Dak, and I don't know what to do next.
My only Cowboys jersey is the legend that just left us. Actually, it's right here, Jason Witten.
Ooh, he looks horrible in.
He does not look good in black. He doesn't.
Or in Las Vegas. Sorry, Raiders fans.
Yeah.
Oh, he looks. Ugh.
Yeah. No way, no.
But then I heard he did put out a quote that said that there was a lot of talks about him staying in Dallas, and I was like, what? That was even worse. I was just like, just stay in Las Vegas. Just go.
As much as I love the GOAT, I think it was time.
It's Blake Jarwin time, baby.
It is Blake Jarwin time, and everybody that's been laughing at me for saying that Blake Jarwin is gonna pop off this season, you wait.
Just wait. Just wait.
Just wait.
That's a sleeper.
That's a sleeper.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Literally every single play he was involved in last season was for more than 20 yards.
It was every a playmaker. Playmaker.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I guess what were you gonna say?
One more thing. One more name to keep in consideration.
All right.
We've mentioned it before, but I think now it's legit a really good possibility that'll happen. Connor McGovern going to be the new left guard for the Dallas Cowboys.
That has been your sleeper point, I guess I'd call it, for the past couple months.
I'm hearing good things. Really good things.
Honestly, that's all on you because I have not heard a lot of things. So I'm gonna trust your word.
Switching a Connor for a Connor. Connor Williams, out of here. It was nice knowing you. To me, bro, failure. Connor McGovern, ooh, you watch out. Watch out. That offensive line isn't dead yet.
Well, I mean, in reality, he was the only weak link on that line, Connor Williams.
He is. It's not a questionable thing. No, he was.
Yeah.
Because once all those guys are healthy, he was just like he was that weird kid that would sit with you at lunchtime.
Oh, no, don't say that.
I mean, I'm sorry, but like everyone belongs, and you're like, who's that guy? Everyone else is like. Everyone's like 6'7", 300 pounds, built. Like they built different, right?
I mean, Tyron Smith is built different. My man has to wear a knee brace on his elbow. God damn.
Yeah, I met him when I was like 5'9". I was and I was like 150 pounds.
Man's insane. He's a Greek god, my lord.
We were doing a festival, not a festival, like a what was it? Like a fest, like a fan fest at the radio station that I used to work at. And Tyron Smith was the main guy that was there.
Oh, the guest.
We got to the main guest. There was also Cole Beasley, Tyron Crawford, and Anthony Hitchens, who I got to meet. Very nice guys, cool guys.
Yeah.
And I got to talk to Tyron Smith. I was walking him to our booth. I just told him like, hey, you got to come with me. We're gonna set you up with the interview. And as we're walking, I was like, I'm a really big fan of yours. And this was like a few years into the league. I mean, this is like he's in his prime.
Yeah,
prime Tyron Smith.
Prime non-injury Tyron Smith.
Yes, and this was at Speaking Rock, by the way. So it's a pretty big size auditorium. And I was about like this, looking up at him.
Christ.
I shook his hand. I guarantee you, like me, like this is smaller than his one hand.
Oh my god.
That's how big his hand was. Like he squeezed me, and I was like, "Dear God, you're gonna crush my hand." And I guarantee you, he could have thrown me across that auditorium. I'm not kidding. He's that big.
Pull up the Hulk and Loki clip. That's what he could have done to you.
Oh my god, dude. That's it. That is it. He's a huge dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nice guy though.
Nice guy.
He
looks like a nice guy.
I mean, he was just like very chill. He was like, I appreciate that, man. And I was like, wow. Wow.
Thanks, Mean Joe.
Dude, that's it. That's the yes.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. But I didn't get a Coke after. I didn't
it's
get
our
a
turn.
jersey.
It's our turn. We still love you.
It's fine.
It's our turn.
Anything else?
No. Oh, I guess. Do we approve of the move? Hell yeah. Thank God. 100%. We'll end it off on that note. My lord, this is a good move.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good time on here. We're under an hour. I'd say that's a win.
That's a win for us because we just like to talk a lot.
For us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for everyone that's watching or listening, thank you for watching and listening to the Bubble Up Sports Podcast. I appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. We are at 82 subscribers. Maybe with my voice, I can gain some subscribers.
Oh.
All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.
On the road. ASMR?
Oh. 100 subscribers.
Mm-hmm. This is how you're going to lose subscribers, all right?
That is probably true. We probably lost one just saying that. But we're close, man. We're definitely close. Over 600 listens on iTunes and Spotify.
The grind keeps going, my guy.
Closing in on a year.
Oh, yeah.
Of like a full-on Bubble Up Sports podcast, which is really good because we're like we're probably on pace to get over 100 episodes in a year, which is awesome.
Wow, that's sick.
Yeah,
nice.
And we keep going.
We
keep going, keep grinding.
The grind keeps going.
And I want you guys to be a part of it. So Bubba Bunch, love you. Stay safe. We appreciate you. Kevin and I both.
Yes.
And we will see you next time on the Bubble Up Sports Podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah, hold on. Tell me who's your top 5 quarterbacks right now, dead or alive, huh? And how much do you care about a ring if the best player got carried by the team? Now would you lose if it been a better draft?